All right, welcome. Today we're going to tackle one of the biggest challenges in any project, really. How do you turn a brilliant idea into a real, finished product without everything just descending into total chaos? Well, there's a system for that, and it all starts with one single master list.
Think about it, you get that amazing idea, right? That light bulb moment. You just know it's a game changer. But what's the actual step-by-step path from that first spark to something tangible that people can actually hold and use?
Yeah, because way too often, this is what actually happens. Without a rock-solid plan, even the best ideas just get completely tangled up. You've got conflicting priorities, you've got miscommunication, you've got zero direction. The project just stalls out, and that great idea, well, it just fizzles. But there is a much, much better way. And that better way is something called the product backlog. I want you to think of it as the master plan, the one single roadmap that guides everybody and brings beautiful, beautiful order to all that potential chaos. Okay, so what is this thing? It's really simple at its core. It's just an ordered list of everything, and I mean everything, that needs to be in the final product. But here's the absolute key. It is the single source of truth. No side lists, no secret tasks on sticky notes. If it's not on the backlog, it's not getting built, period.
And I love this slide because it shows you the whole journey. You start out with that fuzzy product idea. Then that gets refined into a clear product vision, which gives everyone a North Star. From there, you break that vision down into huge chunks of work we call epics. Think of them like big chapters in your product's story. And finally, you break those epics down even more into all the little detailed, prioritized items that make up the actual product backlog.
Okay, so we've got this master list, but what's actually in it? What kind of stuff are we putting on this thing?
Right, a really healthy backlog isn't just a wish list for new features. Not at all. It's actually a mix of a few different types of work, and each one has its own important job. Let's just run through the big ones real quick. First up, and probably the most important thing on the list, are user stories. Now, these are not technical tasks. They describe a feature from the perspective of the person who's actually going to use it. Something like, as a shopper, I want to save items to a wish list so I can buy them later. Simple as that.
Then, of course, you've got bugs. Super simple, right? Something's broken, it needs a fix. If a button doesn't work or the app crashes, boom, that's a bug. It gets its own spot on the list.
And then you have something called technical debt. This is all that behind-the-scenes work. The kitchen analogy is perfect. It's like cleaning your kitchen as you cook. It doesn't add a new dish to the meal, but if you don't do it, everything gets slow and messy, and it becomes impossible to cook anything new later on.
And believe me, the list doesn't stop there. You'll also see stuff like very specific technical requirements, or even research tasks. Sometimes we call these spikes, where the team needs to figure out how to build something complicated. It really is a list of everything.
Okay, with all this stuff going onto a list, you're probably thinking, who's in charge here, right? You can't just have everyone throwing things on the list whenever they want. That would lead us right back to chaos.
And the answer is simple. One person, the guardian of the backlog. We call them the product owner. As you can see here, they are right in the middle of it all, acting as that single point of contact. They work with everybody, customers, the team, other stakeholders, to decide what goes on the list, and, this is crucial, in what order.
And look, this quote from the official Scrum Guide really just nails it. The product owner is responsible for the whole shebang, the content, making sure everyone can see it, and most importantly, the ordering. That single point of ownership is what keeps the project from getting pulled in a million different directions.
All right, so having a backlog is one thing, but having a great backlog, that's a whole different ballgame. That's what really separates the projects that succeed from the ones that just kind of fizzle out. So what makes a backlog truly great? Well, it really boils down to 4 key things. 4 attributes that take a backlog from just being good enough to being a truly powerful tool for the team. First, it has to be sequentially ordered. And I don't just mean it's a list, it's stack ranked. The most valuable, most urgent, most important thing is always at the very top. No exceptions. This ruthless prioritization is the secret sauce. It forces everyone to be crystal clear about what matters most right now. Second, you need what's called a groomed runway. Think about it like an airplane runway. It needs to be clear for takeoff. This means the items at the top of the backlog are small, they're super well defined, and they are totally ready for the team to just grab and start working on. It creates a really smooth, continuous flow. Number 3, it's got to be clearly visible, like super transparent. Everyone on the team, every stakeholder, they can all see it anytime they want.
This transparency is huge for building trust and getting everyone on the same page, because they can see the plan and understand why things are being prioritized the way they are. And last but not least, it's well categorized. Because let's be real, these lists can get huge, right? They can be overwhelming. So using things like tags or themes helps everybody make sense of it all and see how all the little pieces fit into the bigger picture.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways here? The product backlog is that single ordered list, the one source of truth for a product. It's got everything in it, the new features, the bug fixes, the cleanup work. There's one person in charge, the product owner, to keep things clear. And maybe most importantly, a great backlog is never finished. It's a living, breathing thing that's always evolving.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. This whole system brings incredible focus to building complex products. But what if you applied that same thinking to your own life? A single, prioritized list of what's most important to you, something you're always refining. What would be at the very top of your personal backlog?